No. I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
Yeah, I'm Jeffrey.
This is coffee before bed.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, guys. It's been a while.
Yeah, no
You're
doubt,
back,
man.
yeah.
I haven't seen you in a minute.
Our
Yeah.
viewership just tanked while you were
You're,
gone.
you're not putting a celebrity name in the title.
Oh. So what celebrity shall we talk shit about today?
I don't know, but you just have to throw in whichever one it was, like Don Lemon, Kevin Costner, whatever
that's true,
celebrity name you throw.
Oh,
We
The
go to
Mel
100.
Gibson got eaten by cats one
Yeah.
was actually pretty.
You
I
go
think that was the picture that I
straight to
couldn't
100.
not click on that. Yeah, if I saw it. Then I'd be disappointed. It's like, what the fuck is this Colorado thing?
What celebrity should we talk? Somebody that's polarizing.
Who's polarizing at the moment?
Alexandria
Ocasio-Cortez.
Cortez.
Why? What's she doing now?
Well, you asked me for a.
Oh, polarizing?
She was at a funeral that she had no business being at.
Okay.
Why? Why is this news?
Well,
I mean, of course it's news, but
so I mean, if you remember the Daniel Perry case where the subway.
gotcha.
Oh, yeah.
He and Al Sharpton showed up at this.
Why wouldn't he?
Yeah. So
He's just got a tent he rolls out, man. So,
yeah, I know.
It's got like one of those like the fucking I can't remember the show.
I think he's just a skeleton now, isn't he?
He is pretty
he's
tiny dude,
weird.
but I can't remember. There was an old Disney show. The traveling guy would show up, and it was like Dick Van Dyke, and he had that whole like contraption that unfolded into a stage.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember what one that was.
No. For him, it's like a mobile grifter wagon, and so it's yeah. If there's anything race related, regardless of the actual circumstances, he's there to make sure that he's buried in a fucking golden ivory coffin, and
Right. Yeah.
Someone that kidnapped a 7-year-old and was threatening people on the train is somehow the.
Yeah, so like there's circles even in the super lefty media that I keep tabs on where they're kind of like,
We gotta let this one go.
we gotta let this one
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
But yeah, sure as shit, she's over there and she's got like her hands clasped and she's
Well, it's in her district,
distressed
isn't it?
and.
Oh, that's a good
I think
point.
it is. I think it actually was in her district.
Yeah, but that doesn't stop her from going there and shedding tears at the same fucking.
Well, I'm just saying it's not
detention
like
center.
a drive, you know.
Yeah.
So
Somebody
like,
telling
you're
her
not
it's a
showing up
good
in like
idea to be
Tennessee
there.
on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a hike. It's not something you have to book.
And it also might look a little weird even if she didn't show up because it's such a.
Well,
No, because the people that are supposed to be there are the victim's family. And at that point, the people being shamed are the victim's family because they let them out here to do all this bullshit.
Okay, fair.
I told you,
I don't
man.
know.
You gotta lock the gate, man. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was thinking more like an actual celebrity.
Like an
So,
actor. But
yeah,
I
you
can't
put
think of,
AOC on there, and all of a sudden people are like, oh, it's that kind of podcast.
I can't think of.
I can't think of anybody who's actually in trouble right now.
Who's in trouble? Let's see.
Who's in trouble?
The only people that are in trouble are Kang.
Oh, yeah, but that was weeks ago.
That
Well, the
trouble
event.
has not let up.
What is Kang?
He's the new.
What is his name? I can't remember. It's
Oh.
Oh, is he the Chinese guy?
No.
Oh,
no. Okay.
He's the Marvel. He's the
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
John Major.
He was
okay.
also in Rocky.
Well, no, he was not in Rocky. He's in Creed.
Creed.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah. But he hit his.
He's in Black Rocky. Well, yeah. So he had a domestic
It was domestic violence.
They said that the released information would exonerate him, but the released information actually makes it worse.
Really?
Yeah, because like on the recordings, it's
Does it bleep it out? Like it's.
No, because after the I was watching this one closely. I was like, all right, let's see what this goes here. This is interesting. So yeah, the night it happened, like he got out and his attorney was like, hey, I know what everybody thinks. We've got footage here that's going to clear his name. Don't worry about it, right? So they release the footage, and the footage is like, yeah. So the girl is saying, because he was basically saying like she hit me,
Okay.
right? Now the thing was it also so happened on the what they released, they have her saying like, hey, I'll drop this, I'll recant this, I'll it's okay, baby, I'll say I did this, right?
Oh, oops.
And within this, right, a slew of accusers has also come up and said that, yeah, he did this to me too.
Oh, okay.
So that's why everybody but Disney has dumped his ass thus far.
Well, because Disney was basing their entire
Yeah,
next
I think that's
wave
why
on
they're
it.
waiting on the actual result, because everybody else preemptively dumped him, right? They're like, the accusation's enough. But for Disney, somehow, I don't know. I mean, business wise, I'm like, I get why you did it, but you guys are such assholes. You guys are such fucking assholes because you have not permitted this leniency to
Anybody
other
else?
people who have said things that you disagree with.
Right.
Like when fucking Gina Carano was like, this mask shit is stupid.
You're gone.
Oh,
Get
yeah,
out.
Get out.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't even think they killed her character. I think they just
I just said, like,
They just wrote her out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
died on the way back to her home
Right,
planet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Decided to go
fell
drive
asleep
truck.
on the
Yeah, there we go. Oh, all right, that Cara Dune died on the way back to her home planet. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was I'm trying to think about any other celebrity stuff.
I haven't really seen that much. So.
How's the strike going?
Oh, you know what? I haven't even seen a thing on that. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Got it. Okay. Yeah. So,
Yeah, like the local like plumbers like look outside and instead of like
Right.
sympathy, they're like pussies.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
They are not garnering the sympathy that they thought. they
No.
would.
Well, how long, if a writer strike, with how long it takes to produce stuff, like how long would you be before you actually felt it?
They're feeling it now.
Really?
Yeah, all the Disney stuff got halted because their writers are on strike.
Oh.
Are they doing TV shows right now too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I hadn't heard. That hadn't peeped over my radar at all, man. So, yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody
In
cares.
fact, I saw like one thing like maybe a week ago where it's like, oh, they're going to suspend production of this show and that show. I was like, both these shows suck.
That's
So, yeah. and,
Exactly,
yeah,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was basically the
Yeah.
conclusion of the author of the article, too.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what they were. There's
That's-
some bullshit on TV right now. So, but
Real TV?
no, like
Oh.
Netflixy TV.
Mm.
Yeah. So I can't remember.
Funny that you have to make the distinction.
I know, man. They come in
But-
different flavors now.
You're right,
So,
yeah.
I haven't. I'm a TV person, and I haven't watched an actual show on TV, non-sports,
Just say so,
Yeah.
just sports, yeah.
in a
Yeah.
long time. Like even on the commercials that they throw up, there's one that I kind of wanted to see, but I can't even think what it's called. But he like travels back in time, kind of thing, and helps like destruction of. Yeah, it's some sort of apocalypse kind of thing. Like
Oh,
chaotic,
I
like,
was
going
thinking,
and all
like,
these kind of stuff.
Setting right what once went wrong.
It's kind of true.
Right, yeah.
This is Scott Bakula.
Oh, man, that's a long time ago.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if they're remaking Quantum Leap.
They already
Maybe.
have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an Asian guy. I don't think it's meant to like. I think it's a new guy, which would be okay by you then,
He's
right?
a new guy.
He's a new human. They didn't try to remake the same person.
So
I just
he's
mean-
not Scott Bakula. He's not.
No, he's not. Scott
He's a different guy, but he's doing the same stuff. I don't think. Actually, I don't know.
I don't know either. I just saw an ad for it.
I saw an
So,
ad.
yeah.
I assumed it was just because. I mean, you don't have like. There's no reason that you have to make it the same guy. You could just be like, this is dude going through. He's like Agent 2 doing the same Quantum Leap stuff.
Okay. Well, I mean, if that's the case,
Then
I
that's
don't know if they're.
I honestly don't know, so I don't want to.
Yeah, in fairness, I
say
don't either. So, yeah.
it didn't get me in Because like I think he went in to try to beat like Muhammad Ali, like one of the first ones, and I was just like,
That's pretty funny.
oh, wow, okay. He went in to be a boxer and won, and I was just like, oh, okay.
All right.
So
I mean,
I was just like,
Yeah.
it didn't get me from the commercials.
Yeah, and then like the entertainment news, let's see. Lots of underperformers, even Galaxy underperformed pretty badly.
Galaxy.
But it did like
Guardians, yeah.
way
Oh.
better than Ant-Man.
Yeah, Ant-Man, they're saying lost at least 200 million.
Oh,
At
it
least.
lost that much.
Well, and it is like
Ouch.
got just horrible ratings in like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. And it's like, dude, it
Yeah.
wasn't that bad.
I think that's kind of like modus operandi on Rotten Tomatoes now, is to have this
bomb stuff.
like 50% split between the audience and the critics.
Okay, it depends on the movie. Like,
Right,
so,
yeah.
I know that the Netflix Cleopatra show.
Oh my god, I did see something on that. Where the fucking Egypt government was like, "This is fucking horseshit."
We're suing you.
We're suing.
Yeah.
Who? That's not a Disney thing.
No, it's a Netflix thing.
That's a
Yeah.
Netflix thing.
That's a
okay.
Netflix
yeah,
thing.
that's what I thought. It was Jada Pinkett Smith. There's someone we can talk shit about.
Huh.
So
Yeah. Where it wasn't her, but like the producer of the show, their entire
She was the producer, I thought.
Oh no, she's one of them.
Okay. She's got her
Right.
executive
It's a
producer.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, so one of the people on there basically said that her source for Cleopatra's blackness was her grandmother.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Like, this is
So-
pathetic.
Yeah, well, I mean, there have been historical arguments made, but they've always been shot down. So,
Why?
for a long time, because it's not true.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're talking about a very incestuous dynasty that existed for about 1,000 years.
Uh-huh.
Right, yeah. Well, not that long. I think it was like 300. So,
No, it's a while though.
it's
yeah,
not that long because
it's
Ptolemaic. It goes from
yeah.
Alexander down to her when she's Mark Antony.
Generals, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's about when they killed Jesus. So there you go. So I think it's about 350 years, something like that.
yeah.
So, but yeah, no, they were clearly Greek.
Yeah.
And they just made her black.
Well,
Like,
so there was an
like,
argument.
what?
Like I remember this back studying history. A while ago, it's like, well, actually, Egypt was supposed to be much more multicultural than our. And it was basically like this thing. It was like, well, not all Egyptians walk like that, dude. So kind
Right,
of thing.
right, right.
They don't all wear black coal eyeliner.
There's- Right.
So, yeah.
Where that's they say like, okay, so take a look at the top part of Egypt and
Right.
what it's close to.
Yeah.
In that circle right there.
Yeah.
And then notice that there's a whole shit ton of desert.
Mhm.
And then there's the rest of the continent
Right.
where everybody looks and behaves differently.
Yeah, but I mean, there was definitely stuff going on down there. That's where the
Sure.
whole, who was it? There was a huge kingdom down there at that time that was extremely wealthy, and they traded with the Egyptians all the time. And so the argument was, well, yeah, there's obviously black people in Egypt. It's like, yeah, but like they didn't paint those guys on the pyramids. So right.
No, they did not.
So, but then, like, maybe fast forward that, like, 10 years. This is back when I was in college. Fast forward that, like, 10 years. And then you start seeing the arguments. Oh, no, she was black. And so it's like, okay. But it was so easy to just prove that, anybody who was serious about it was like, yeah, okay, never mind.
Right.
We'll go find something
Right.
else. So,
Yeah.
but apparently, Jada Pinkett Smith's mom, or grandma, or whatever.
I don't know if it was her. I think it was a different producer. on the
Okay,
show.
a different producer. Yeah. Said, no, you
Don't let anybody
don't
tell
let
you
anybody
otherwise.
tell you otherwise. So, yeah, which is how you kind of set up anything that is bullshit. So,
Yeah.
I know you're gonna hear something else, but
Nip all that in the bud right here.
Yeah, so this is where at least in the beginning, the critics and audience matched up fairly well.
Oh, did they?
Yeah,
Huh.
because Cleopatra at the time had a whopping, I think it was 13% on Rotten Tomatoes.
13.
that's pretty bad.
Well, the audience gave it 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
no, I saw
gosh.
that. I didn't
Yeah.
realize the critics
I
had
think
bombed
A
it that hard.
one?
I think it's up to 2.
Yeah. because they had like a brigade of down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they open up advanced screenings for like the new Indiana Jones movie.
I hear
And
it's
even the
horrifying.
critics
Yeah.
are letting him have it. Which
Really?
is
Yeah. No, I did. I
Oh.
read one thing on that, and it was like you could tell that this guy's heart was broken. So, because he actually said, "This makes me remember how good Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is." Yeah, I know. So I know it was like, oh, and apparently, like the whole scene where they retro de-age him and stuff is just absolutely cringeworthy. So,
and evidently they've spent this. This is evidently one of the most costly movies that's ever been made.
okay.
Because
they had to de-age him so much.
well,
Well,
and-
it's only like a 10-minute segment. So,
well, they've also reshot the ending like 3 times.
right, because he gets getting shot down in front of his test audiences. I did see that a couple.
Wait,
months
what?
ago. So they had like several different endings, you know, and you know how they do these things with those big blind. They test them in front of audiences towards the end to see who reacts to them. Well, and nobody reacted well to any of them. So they're like,
There was
well,
one in particular that was particularly
where he
damn.
passes on the hat to a girl. Yeah.
No, it wasn't. No. It wasn't that he passes on the hat to the girl.
Yeah.
You have to remember that within that ending, he didn't pass on the hat. Remember, this is a time travel movie. So,
I didn't watch it, so.
well, no, it's not out yet.
Yeah. Okay.
But this goes from the leaks, which evidently turned out to be true, was that because he would die in this film,
Yeah.
Phoebe Waller-Bridge was going to have to basically indie her way through all of his past adventures
Oh Jesus.
to quantum leap, and basically these things still needed to happen. So there would be a vignette of her doing all of his things.
Oh my God!
no.
Fighting the
To
Ark
make
of the Covenant.
yes, to make them all.
Oh my God!
happen
I am
in-
so glad Sean Connery's dead. Yeah.
And evidently that ending was not well received.
No, none of them were. So they shot it again like twice. I saw, and then
Well, they didn't admit to it. John Williams admitted to it because they weren't saying
really?
it. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't
because
know that.
at a concert, John Williams was playing some like music that was unheard, and he let it slip. He was like, "Yeah, this is actually a piece." So they asked me to come in and rescore a new ending they did,
oops.
and Disney like the next day was like, "No, we didn't do that." He's like, "Okay, I don't."
Wow, it's really getting to me.
I don't know who I wrote all that music for. I mean, I had to bring in like a 70-piece orchestra, but I guess that didn't happen.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I didn't know that about John Williams, but I did know it had leaked. I didn't know he was the source
Yeah,
of that.
yeah.
So, that's kind of funny. It's like, well, what are you gonna do? Fucking fire me? So,
Right.
yeah.
Take my music out.
Yeah, I just take all my music
Yeah.
out. Let me box up all of my Oscars.
Well, yeah. I'll tell you what. Why don't you guys go ahead and try to reshoot this with like Hans Zimmer and
Oh,
watch all
God.
your music turn really serious.
Really serious. Dun, 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 dun.
What does he move? What movie does he do?
Oh, he did
done
all
a
the
lot.
Dark Knight movies. He did
Yeah.
Gladiator. He did
Gladiator.
Inception. He
Okay.
done tons of movies. But there's always this like almost. I think he's genius, but this is it's way different.
Yeah, he
It
likes-
doesn't have that playfulness,
No, there's no playfulness in a Hans Zimmer scored film.
but it's not as
So,
playful as like Danny Elfman.
I don't know who that is.
Oh well,
The
Batman,
Yeah.
Beetlejuice.
Oh, okay,
Uh,
got it. You mean their
the
first
90s
Batman?
Batman.
90s Batman.
Yeah,
Michael
the
Keaton
Simpsons
Batman.
theme,
Oh, okay, there we go.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know who that was.
No, he's awesome, but that dude is like incredibly playful.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like
Didn't they make fun of that in Family Guy once? During one of the Star Wars one, and they like vaporized the whole band.
I don't know.
Oh,
I don't-
okay. Maybe I don't know.
This is Seth MacFarlane. He's such a Star Wars toady that, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. So,
It could be.
I
So.
talk shit about that guy. Finally saw they canceled his 2 goddamn shows. Good riddance.
Oh, they're done?
They're done.
Whoa.
So, yeah.
Wait, the
Family Guy and American,
And American
Dad?
Dad, which is
Wow.
the show that is the most pointless show in all of fucking history of TV. So, but anyway,
no, you're onto something. You should talk.
I don't really have that much nice to say about it. Mom told me things about that. So, so
It was-
My understanding is they're not.
actually, I'm sorry. I forgot about the Cleveland show. There we go.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look, all right, there's only like there you can only make the same show so many times.
Right.
Oh, and he's sure done it. So, I'm sorry. The dog is a fish now. I'm sorry. It's
Right.
a talking alien. Yeah. So,
Right.
who's gay? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and then he's a bear in the other one.
And then he's a bear.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you format. Like, I know that the American Dad thing was an agreement that they made because they brought it back to Fox. He's like, all right,
So Fox made him make that.
no,
Oh.
he made them.
He made them let him be Mr. CIA stand. Yeah. Okay,
Yes,
got it.
that was part of the agreement when they actually brought the show back, because they had nothing, right?
Right.
And to be fair, like, let's not shit on Family Guy. I actually like many seasons of it, but
It gets bad after a while.
oh no, it's
Yeah.
unwatchable now.
Oh, okay,
but,
yeah.
But that was part of the agreement. Was since we dissed you pretty hard, we kicked you out the door
You
unceremoniously.
get 2 shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
You get 2 shows, and that was how it worked. So now, evidently, some people glommed onto it. There were plenty of people that said American Dad was the superior show. I'm like,
Between the two,
I've heard that too.
I can't stand that fucking show.
I can't stand that show either, man. I mean, it makes Family Guy downright good.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
So-
But that's not a stop. Look, I know. I ordered a new light to fix it. Okay, stop it. It's driving me nuts too. Okay, all right.
I don't podcast in the dark.
No, I'm not talking like this. No, you're right, because I'm sick
All right,
of-
guys, radio, not television.
No, goddamn, I'm sick of being in the studio and it's lit like a fucking cyberpunk movie from the '80s with the flickering shit.
There's
Right.
not this much incandescence
It's-
light in the future.
It's trying to send you SOS messages here, so
Yeah.
if you can only just decipher.
Fuck it.
You
No,
have
that's
jokes in your
it's
bathtub, man.
yeah.
It's gonna be disgusting.
God.
The giant flaming skull in your closet. So.
All right, whatever.
All right,
Right.
whatever.
All right.
I was gonna ask you, how many seasons of Ted Lasso did you watch? Did you watch the first 2?
I watched the first one.
Oh, the first one. Okay.
Yeah.
Season 3 is not gonna be yours. They get very messagey.
I saw one clip from it.
And this season was nowhere near as funny and lots of message.
I ain't got
throughout
time
the
for
thing.
that, man.
It's
Just
like, oh my gosh, why aren't
So what do you mean messagey? Like, is it telling me how I'm a horrible person?
It's got the gay angle, it's got race, it's got
Gay is like
it's got
passe.
it's so passe,
everything
yeah,
in it,
you know?
and like he's barely in it because it's making it all about different people on the team, and they each have to go through whatever
Look,
drama they have for having to deal with whatever, and it's just like
the only thing I saw, man, was I saw a bunch of soccer guys in the locker room discussing adult consent.
I'm sure that happens on a daily
Yeah,
basis.
where the guys
Across
are
the country.
the guys are fucking high-fiving each other for being well, no, I mean, if she's drunk, well, then of course she can't consent. Just
really, come on.
I can't
man.
remember that one, but there was lots of.
Like I said, I only saw a clip of it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. What fucking idiot said that we should stop the show to talk about this?
It's a lot in this season, and it was just like.
So how did that?
funny.
Does that happen with successful shows? Because I remember that show came out with a bang.
Oh yeah.
And then I didn't watch that much of it, so it just
It was
wasn't-
on Apple TV, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so I had to go through the pirate server in order to get that. And it must be dangerous waters. So,
I've sailed them before.
I know. You wrote the map, John. So, but then you get a little bit of success, a little bit of juice under you. And then all these other people jump on as new writers and stuff, and you get pressured to do this. I mean, you kind of watch Stranger Things try and do that a little bit, but then they pulled it back. They went back, yeah. So
And they said, give them what they want, like
Give 'em what they
really
want.
cool bad guys doing cool nasty stuff, and
I did go back and I remember this was a few months ago when I rewatched that 5th season or whatever the latest one is.
Mm.
I don't like it, man.
Really?
No, I really don't, man. It is just all over the fucking map.
Huh.
And it's like, I hope the next one is just like, not this, fucking Jurassic World. There's 5 different plot lines going on that all come together in the end, kind of thing like that. It's just like, give me a fucking straight up story. Just, I want to follow this guy. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So, but it's not gonna happen because there's too many people in the cast. Yeah.
That could be.
Not a lot of people like this most recent season.
A lot of people did, but once I rewatched it, it was kind of like, yeah, no. I mean,
I liked it way better than the season before. The season before is kind of boring.
I'm trying to remember. So I think the season before was the one that I watched last. And
it's the one with the mall.
It's the mall. Is it the one where they shoot it with like fireworks? They're fighting.
Yes.
Okay,
The
that's
giant-
giant.
Yeah, gore monster.
I ended up kind of liking that.
Yeah.
I was surprised at how well that gore monster looked. And wasn't that the one where they like had the machine portal thing? And...
Yeah, so the commies invaded fucking Indiana and built
Right.
an enormous tunnel complex.
That was the
underneath
last
them
one
all.
that I saw, yeah.
So the season after that, it's
Oh, that was the last season before COVID. That's why
it
I
was the
saw
last
it.
season.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
no,
right.
they came
That's
back and all
right.
the kids are like fucking 5 years
Yeah.
old. Yeah. It's like, wow, man, what'd you feed? Were you feeding that kid Miracle Grow all summer? But you just realize, oh, actually, you're 22, aren't you?
Was it?
So,
Did they write it into the script that they got older, or
No,
did they try to
of course
pretend
no.
like?
No, we're going to high school now, man. So no, of course not.
It was
So,
like what, a few months?
it
that he
it was
was-
a summer break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a few
And
months.
also, the kid grew by a fucking
Yeah.
foot. So
Like, I remembered seeing pictures of him. Like, you don't like that lanky
No.
kid. I'm like,
oh yeah, along
you're
with the
super
big
tall
schnoz.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, none of them really aged that well.
not-
they're all kind of rough.
So like the original kid, Will, he's fine. Okay,
Yeah.
so And
He's kind of.
he's a little goofy. They're gonna make him gay in the next one. You could see that.
Yeah.
coming in the
Oh
last
yeah, that
one.
he's
Yeah,
into
yeah,
hip.
Yeah.
That was
So,
weird.
but then the other guy is like the older kids. They're fine, because
Right.
they were cast as
And
older.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you're right. Like all 4 of the younger ones, including the girl, is just like she got like it was like, are you you're doing like fashion shoots for Vogue now?
Yeah.
You're supposed to be 12. This is disgusting. So
oh, Millie Bobby Brown.
Millie
Yeah.
Bobby
Oh,
Brown. Yeah.
the actual like.
Did she get
movie
married
star.
recently?
I think so. Or
Yeah,
something like that.
So I
yeah.
saw a whole argument about that because she's like technically only like just turned 18 or something like that. Yeah,
I
it's
think
just
she's
like-
older than that.
is she?
I think so.
I don't know. It was one of those things where it's like
No, I
it's
don't think she
okay.
got married. I think she's dating somebody famous, or like she got engaged or something like
I
that.
actually think she did get married.
She got married.
I might
Alright.
be wrong. So I might be wrong.
I have no idea.
I don't either, man. And honestly, she's my like least favorite part of the entire show. So
I liked her
Well,
at first, and then
she's fine as a kid.
Fine,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then she gets weird. See, that whole last season was weird. Matthew Modine was in way too much of it. He's much better when he's not there.
Yeah.
So he's the bad guy, but then he's like, oh no, he's actually a good guy. It's like bull fucking shit. Shoot him. Thank you. Someone shot him. Thank you.
I'm doing that a lot more in shows now.
Yeah.
Well, like they get to the point and they start just like talking over him and stuff, and I'm like, no, just kill him.
Just kill him. Yeah.
Just kill him.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
You bolt this thing on that helicopter and you machine gun it before it gets loose. So
So
and you fly it with an actual pilot. So
Like, when you're talking about this, are you talking about where you can see that they're just needlessly stretching it out because they're like, well, yeah, everybody knows that you're.
No, it's like, this is an extreme threat. This
Right.
is going to be the worst part of your lives if you don't kill this person right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm
But that's what I'm
watching-
saying is you are extending the plot. You're letting this happen for stupid reasons.
Yeah, I was
There are
watching
so
My
much
Hero with the kids, and it got
Watch
to
what?
My Hero
What's that?
Academia, and it got to a part, and I was just like, kill him now, and the kids were like, no, Dad, stop it. I'm like,
you're
you just gotta kill him now. And yeah, stuff keeps going.
I'm still only like a season in, so I don't know who you're. You're
Well,
talking
I'm
about,
really
but-
mad now. I thought they were done with the show.
Oh,
and they're not. So we just got through the last one, and it doesn't come out. The next season might not come out until like the end of next year. I'm like, God, dang it. It's built up to like it's got everything built up, and they're just like, and it just ended, and I was like, oh no, they're showing credits. Oh no 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 no!
Are you sure? Is this one of the ones that might end with a movie or something like that? Or
No, it says season 7's been approved. And
Okay.
So they're like, yeah, they just approved it. So we'll see it in a year. They said on average it's 11 months between seasons.
man, there's plenty of shows that I like that are like 2 years
Yeah.
that are in between,
Remember
man.
all those times waiting for Venture Brothers seasons to drop?
You know what? I get that, but those two assholes
Those
that make
guys
the
are
show are
assholes.
so
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah.
lazy. And then we get
Like,
caught
oh,
up
we
on
ran
the
out of money. I
stupidest
guess you
shit.
better, like, you know,
Yeah,
fucking, you know, let's get back to the drawing board here.
exactly. They go fucking wander around Atlanta with like their hats in hand, like, "Oh, excuse me, sir. Do you think you could lend us a few dollars to
Yes.
finish Venture Brothers?"
Oh, you're
Season
those
3?"
William Street boys.
Yeah.
So,
Now, granted, they because of that, they did sort of expose later on, like the state of finances down at that place and like the pet projects that
oh,
like
fucking Tim and Eric.
the
Yeah.
stupid shit that
Those
that
are two
would
guys
get
need to be
funded.
pushed off a bridge. So,
I'm not gonna fight you on.
yeah,
that.
no.
Why
In fact,
would
you're
I?
gonna help me. Yeah.
it's like-
You're driving.
Well, I was gonna say, one of us is doing the deed, one of us is, looking the other way.
hmm
Yeah, you just have to tell me. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah, well, then you got in that whole thing with who is it? The Rick and Morty guy.
Oh, Justin Roiland.
Justin Roiland, who got like exonerated of all that shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then
but he's still persona non grata.
he is
because
still apparently
where
persona
there's
non
smoke, there's
grata.
fire.
Apparently,
Yeah.
yes. So
That's
yeah.
not how evidence works, but
No, that's not how evidence works. It's actually, well, I mean, that's the amendment in the Constitution I want to get rid of, but whatever. So,
Right.
you know,
Right.
It's there, so we might as well follow it. Yeah, but I did see that it all came out in the wash, you know.
yeah.
They said they couldn't criminally charge him with anything on this and stuff, and so maybe she'll try and sue him Donald Trump style. You never know, but
Yeah, but you know what? That's been forgotten about already.
absolutely that's been forgotten
It's done.
about. Well,
I
the
can't
smartest
believe
thing
that
that he could do. No, it's it doesn't bother me a bit, man. So it was smart to get it out of the way sooner rather than later. So, you know, I guarantee that's what his lawyers were telling him. So, not that he listens to them. Well, he listens to one.
I think who was it? I'm trying to remember what show was it where the whole thing was whatever it was. If they could convince the boss that it was his idea, he
Oh,
would
yeah.
agree to it.
Yeah, he would agree to it.
And I think that's sort of like the Donald Trump thing is.
That's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you convince him that it was his idea first, you know, it's pretty. There was a show that had a guy.
I know,
like that.
but I
yeah,
can't
I
remember what it
which one
was.
it was. It wasn't The Office. So,
No.
It wasn't the Simpsons one where he put 4 folders out and said, "You really want option number 2?" When he
it was
the
going to
president
lead,
was-
not to read.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't
That
that.
was the
No,
movie.
no.
Oh yeah,
That
that's
was
the
the
movie.
movie.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but no, it was a different one
No, it
where,
was-
where
I know what. Yeah, it was a live action show.
It was.
Yeah. So.
I can't remember what it was. I don't remember, but
yeah.
yeah, and I know it wasn't Parks and Rec because like
I watched a bunch of those not too long ago, man. So this show's kind of grown on me a little bit more than I watch it. So,
it's definitely. I mean, it's
Yeah.
got some highlights.
well, Nick Offerman's just fantastic.
He's really the best.
He's
isn't he?
he's hands down the best. And then Rob Lowe keeps showing up, and that's when I'm like,
I don't hate him, but I got to tell you, like my whole thing is it's him and Aubrey Plaza are fucking awesome in that show.
Aubrey Plaza's great.
She's
so,
like the funniest thing on the planet.
Mhm.
So
yeah, Rob Lowe's just Rob Lowe. So yeah.
Oh, I don't like the main girl.
Oh, Amy Poehler.
Amy Poehler, yeah.
yeah, she's my least favorite part. Yeah.
And she's in so much of it. I could never get into it.
Well, somewhere along the way, William, somebody told Hollywood that the average person thinks Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are just geniuses and can do no wrong. But they don't ask anybody average.
Yeah, they don't ask anybody normal. Yeah,
It's like,
so
well,
they think,
I
you think
mean-
Alec Baldwin's a good actor.
It's the same thing. It's like, why the fuck is Pete Davidson and everything?
Yeah, why
likes
nobody
him.
likes you? Yeah.
And I used to doing commercials and stuff, and I'm just like, I don't even
He's
know
in
who you are.
huge movies.
Pete Davidson, really?
Yeah, I don't get it. Yeah.
Who is he? Like, I see him on the top, but I'm like, I don't know who you are.
He's that scumbag looking dude from fucking Saturday Night Live with all those like dumb tattoos and
He
fucking.
was dating Kim Kardashian for a while.
I think, yeah, he was. Yeah,
So
that's
what's
right.
a movie he was in?
The King of Staten
yeah.
Island. He was.
So-
He was in fucking The Suicide Squad. He got killed early.
well, okay.
Uh,
All right, yeah, he's not high up on my list for anything. So
No, he's not funny.
no,
No,
No.
well, nothing about Saturday Night Live is funny.
no,
No, it's terrible.
no.
That's something that needs to burn to the ground.
I didn't know it was still. Oh yeah, I guess I knew it was still.
Yeah, it's still going.
It's-
Kelsey was on it. That's the only reason I knew it was on.
Ugh.
It had to tie into sports,
Fuck
otherwise
him.
I wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
It was still going.
Oh yeah, let's see. Who is it? Kermit the Frog. Yeah, Kermit the
Mahomes?
quarterback. His brother got in trouble.
Oh, I
yeah,
did see
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that counts as celebrity news, but you don't forcibly like kiss women in bars on camera.
Right.
Unless you're Italian.
What does that have to do with anything?
Isn't that what Governor of New York was doing?
Oh.
Cuomo?
I forgot about him. Yeah. I forgot about him, man. There's a blast. I'm surprised he's not back, man. So.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah.
No shit. That's who was he? He was Fredo was his brother.
Fredo was his brother. Oh my god, yeah, I forgot about that.
But he was I
He
mean,
was on
he
CNN.
definitely wasn't Michael.
Huh?
He definitely wasn't Michael.
He was he was no Corleone.
Yeah.
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 So he was a Cuomo. So we were a special brand of retarded. So
those
yeah,
guys.
Those guys.
Those guys.
Those two guys. So yeah. That's right. He did say it's part of my family. You know, it's just,
It's just what you do.
it's okay. It's all right. Yeah.
It was okay in the past. It's fine now.
I get it. I mean, like Richard Dawson did that on fucking Family Feud all the time, but that was back then.
That was back a long time ago. Yeah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I'm kind of mined out for celebrity news. It's been kind of quiet, man. So
I saw my Quora thing that they were commenting how Nebula in the new
Oh.
Guardians, like a bunch of the pictures show her having like a beer gut and stuff,
Yeah.
and they're just like, oh yeah, because they were trying to make her like transgender, like gender neutral.
oh, gross.
And she's like, wait, what? And she was just like, no,
With a beer belly?
well, because that way she wouldn't have the same curves as like a
Yeah. Yeah.
as a woman and all that kind of stuff. So they're trying to make her more, because like a lot of the outfits she wears, she's just kind of just
Yeah,
straight,
okay.
flat. And all
But a
this kind
beer
of stuff.
belly, I mean, that's like a dad bod kind of thing. That's like distinctly runs against the grain of that message. You know?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's
okay.
what I read.
I
It's
saw-
It's like, no, it's just how they show her. And I don't know if she was just like, huh, I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. No. Yeah. No. That thing that has no teeth in it, man. I did see that Miller Lite thing. Did you see that? Where they did the thing where they go back and they're tearing down all the St. Pauli girls and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Man, that pissed a lot of people off real fast.
And evidently that had been around a while.
Apparently that had been around since last fall. So yeah. So it's kind of funny how some shit get to mind up after, some kind of oh my god, kind of thing. But then it was also
Oh, Bud's still taking it, man.
I know, man. So
And
I
rightly
mean,
so. Fuck them.
yeah, I mean, I actually
Fuck
did
'em.
pull up their sales figures. They're bad on the light beer, but they're not that bad elsewhere. I think they're dodging a lot of bullets because they have so many brands out there. So it's like, well, this one might burn to the ground, but so the other ones are okay. So that's okay. I've always been a Coors guy myself, so whatever.
Well, Coors is the only one that hasn't gone full into something stupid like that. Yeah, and I know that with Miller Lite. I didn't see that thing. It popped up, and as soon as I saw Alana Glazer, I'm like, oh
Uh-oh.
my god. I'm like, you guys.
Oh yeah, and her little commercial about women have always been brewing beer. It's like, I don't want to lecture during my beer commercials, so this is one where we can just, keep the closed captions off at the bar. It's fine.
Shut up with this shit, man. It's like, all right, you know what? That's fine if you think so. There's really no evidence of that. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, this is something.
Who the fuck cares?
Who
It
cares?
doesn't
cares?
matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah,
fucking matter,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And again, that it comes back to the same shit. Is she's sitting there walking through like, look at these women, look at these women. I'm like, well, actually, every one of those girls was thrilled to be in these. They fought for these jobs,
Yeah.
right? It wasn't like, I don't know what makes you think that in the 80s, right, there was this team of like slave catchers, and we were catching like women and saying, yeah, be the St. Pauli's girl, right? Pose with this, surfboard and all this other shit. I'm like, no, it wasn't like that. And that was.
The St. Pauli's girl used to be a big thing, man. I used to get their calendar every year. It's
Oh.
great.
It's so stupid. I'm like, these women weren't forced into this
No.
through this was an honor. You understand that, right? It's the same thing. Like, did you see
Well,
that?
and it was a choice too. I mean, it's something that if you want to get into that, get into it. If you don't want to get into it, don't. So it's fine.
Well, no, I'm just saying
Yeah.
that was like a bunch of girls was sitting there saying, I want to do modeling.
Absolutely.
And getting to modeling, the top echelon of that was that.
Right.
Right? But no, there's this utter disrespect for it. And then the did you see the same thing with that there was that Dove ad about body positivity in video gaming?
No. I mean, that's a combination of words right there that just, they do not go together in my brain in a way that,
All right.
I was like, what?
you don't really need to see
All
that.
right. So there's this
the idea that video gamers don't shower.
Oh. All right, you would think
That
we're
is
Yeah,
stereotype.
exactly. But that's a Lever 2000 commercial, not a Dove commercial.
yeah.
It better
Does
have
that
some grit in
exist?
it, man.
It
Yeah.
still does.
It's right next to Irish Spring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
For all of your
caustic.
2,000 parts. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I haven't bought a bar of soap in forever, so
Well, all right. So this thing is they're talking about how Dove teamed up with Unreal Engine 5, and it's this commercial where this it's a video gamey thing, and there's this girl, and she's wearing like armor and stuff, and she has like video game proportions, and she's over there and she's swinging this club with this like monster, and then afterwards they pretend like it's like on a stage, right? So she goes in the dressing room and she starts taking these armor off, and she just becomes fatter and fatter, and she's looking at herself in the mirror like, wow, I look awesome, right? And then so as a fat video game girl, she goes up there and starts hamming it up with this this monster. I'm like, well, okay. And they're like, video games need to have more body positivity, and I'm like, well, I get it, but I can also say, like, I know at that weight, you're not fighting any monsters. Like, you don't want to do anything except for, like, go to work and then sleep. And the going to work part, you go because you have to.
Right, yeah.
You don't want to.
I got bills
it's a
today.
sit down job.
Yeah.
Sit down job.
Yeah. And there's this thing where they're like, well, 70% of women, like, don't see themselves in this. I don't give a fuck. Neither do guys. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, nobody
It
cares.
doesn't matter.
That's choosing. Like, you can make it look like you. People choose not to. Like,
It doesn't matter.
well, I mean,
It's
you
just
can always customize your avatar for so many of these things, and I maybe it's not an option in games. Can you?
Some
you
of
can-
them, so it just depends on the game.
lot of 'em.
Yeah,
A lot of 'em you don't.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them you just play as the character. So
but,
it's like what? Yeah, you get to pick, man. And so,
but in the ones that you could fully customize how you look, how often would they choose them to make them look just like themselves, or do you actually like
I'm
make
sure
it
there's
more of a
research on that,
cool
but yeah.
version of yourself?
For me, it always depended on the game. So, if I was playing The Sims, yeah, I always created a stock Pat character, So back in the day when you had like 12 heads to choose from, it was just like the one that was the closest, it's fine.
yeah.
So, and then when it got a little bit more complicated later, it became harder to actually like create yourself. So that's when I would go and just fucking It's like, whatever, I'm gonna hit the random button 6 times and just play with whatever popped
Yeah.
up. You know? And sometimes that would work, and sometimes that would be a very short day. It just depended on who it was. So, but then there's like other games. I mean, you know, it's just like you play Zelda. You're not gonna create yourself in that game, man. No, you're gonna play as Link. You know?
So they're saying that's what's bad, is the main character that you play as is not going to represent what true people would be looking like.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's it. But then again, you're not. Okay, the turnaround is that, like, yes, but you're not. You don't fight orcs in the real life. You're buying into the fantasy.
Yeah.
From
right.
from the very beginning, right? It's not. Am I going to sit there and say like, well, dude, I gotta tell you, I walked the fuck out of Lord of Rings because that was not a half Korean, wizard.
Right, yeah. Well, some people apparently were like banking that you would. So
I mean, it's like, yeah, the Maiar or whatever made a brief stop through Seoul somehow.
yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I mean, it's fucking dumb, and that's the that's the component of this. I'm like, okay, but you're asking people to go into a fantasy thing. It's like, so when you're playing Super Mario 2, right? There's Mario, there's Luigi, there's Toad, and there's the princess, right? On some levels, you wanted to levitate, so you picked the girl.
Yeah.
On some legs, you wanted to do the extra jumping with itchy legs, I think is what you call
Yep,
it.
we used to call them itchy legs.
So, and you're doing, the little fluttery jumps,
Right.
right?
You wanted to pull up all the roots as fast as you could with Diaper Head.
That is correct. Who didn't get played?
Mario.
In Mario 2. And it kept track.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, it said number of times played.
Zero. Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but it wasn't about representation because I'm like, I too want to play as a character that flutter kicks when he jumps.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't get more than an inch off the fucking ground. I couldn't fucking flutter kick.
No. No, but I mean, I like. It's funny how video games are one of those things that it's okay to still bash on that and the people who play them.
God.
But then you turn around and it's like, all right, so if you want body positivity in video games, so let's start with removing all your TikTok face filters. So because you're basically doing the same fucking thing.
There you go. Yeah, you ain't proud of yourself.
Let's go ahead and ban those first,
Yeah.
shall we? So,
This shit is so stupid.
it is so bad too, man. I've seen
That's
so many of
rough.
those compilation videos of like people side by side with some of the TikTok filters, and they are like pulling fucking dudes off the street from underneath a bridge, and they come out looking like fucking Christopher Reeves.
Yeah, it comes across as entirely fictitious. It's like, this isn't you.
No, of
No.
course not. Yeah, of
You're an
course not.
AI-generated construct.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can tell them the fingers.
They got the flippers from
You
the
get the
Batman
penguin
it does
Returns.
yeah.
not work
It's the
well.
fucking the penguin. Yeah.
the penguin hands. So
It has not figured that out very well yet.
Yeah, that's one of the other things. That's one of the other parts of the writer's strike is they have been showing like, you know what? The AI doesn't do that much worse of a job than you guys
right,
are.
yeah.
And that's one of their contingents is that you guys can't use AI for writing.
I was gonna sign up for that. I saw that you can get ChatGPT 4 now for like $5 a month. So yeah,
Yeah, I saw an ad too.
yeah. I think I
They're
might
advertising
yeah, it's
for it
an
now?
ad, yeah.
Oh, boy.
So, and then there's another thing. There's like a Google search like thing that's AI generated now that you can sign up for. So I gotta.
It's going full tilt, man.
Dude, so the search engine for me is a perfect use of AI. Is like if you can multiple query the internet on something. Where it's like, tell me about this trial. Tell me what this guy said. Tell me what happened here. That'd be
Oh.
fucking tits. So, just
Yes.
because you can actually drill down there at that point in time, that's a web search I would definitely sign up for.
And not have it be strictly just based upon like the sites that have the most hits right now on
Exactly.
the subject. And just be
Oh
like,
my God, that would be
stop
so
giving me
nice.
the same garbage.
Oh,
I have to go to
it-
page 12 on the Google search just to try
Yeah.
and find something that isn't like the same thing repeated over
Oh,
and
and
over.
especially if you're trying to if you're trying to dig down to like primary sources on something, you have to go deep, in order to find shit anymore. just because it's all layered up.
Yeah.
You know. And
Remember, this is what Ask Jeeves was supposed.
it was supposed to
do?
be this, and I
Yeah.
remember using Ask Jeeves for years.
He didn't know
so
shit.
he didn't know shit. So yeah, it was just based off YouTube search, or I mean,
Yahoo.
Yahoo,
Yahoo,
thank you,
yeah.
So, but it was such a cool idea. So
Yeah.
you know, and now they're like months away from that actually happening. I could not be happier. So, you know.
Yeah, the searches it drives me crazy because I'm just trying to find like especially during the COVID times,
Mhm.
like trying to find answers that weren't the top answer.
It's really hard.
Like you had to go down, 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 unless it was some celebrity that happened to say something that was controversial.
But
Then
it
you
would be
could find-
covering the controversy,
Yeah.
not what they actually
yes,
said.
and trying to find the facts of whatever they were trying to say. It's just like
Yeah,
this is
they
ridiculous.
they weren't sharing all of the doctors who were fucking banned
Yeah.
en masse from Twitter and stuff and Facebook and all these other places. They're like, oh, okay, this is our current stand on COVID. Like,
It was like I was trying to like find the rate effectiveness on this and that, and it would just be like, well, this is at 90% here. I'm like, okay, well, there should be other sources that have different studies, and it'd be the exact same number in all of them. I'm like,
right.
You know,
who
there-
wouldn't believe
yeah,
that
there's
it's-
a lot of there's a lot of times where they link to studies that are very, very carefully cherry picked. So, or those studies get linked over and over again. But you know, like I don't know, I've been fighting this not too much lately, but a little bit. So where you get into and you're trying to find, you know, all right, what did the guy actually say? All right, so what was actually said in this instance? Okay, and you'll find, well, he said blah blah blah. And it's like, no, that's what this guy said. He said,
Right.
Okay, so let me get down. All
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
and
Or
over and
got
over
the
again.
dot before and then quote. And
Well,
then
it's
this,
not
and
even
like,
that.
no,
It's just,
can I
you know,
hear the
they'll
whole-
link back to things that are supposed to be primary, but they're actually like the first cut of like somebody's first take on something. And then it just proliferates like wildfire really fast, you know. And next thing you know, everybody's talking the same thing, but it's wrong, okay? Because it's based upon some guy's first take on an initial situation. And then after that, some other information has come out. It's like, well, actually, that's the important piece of information right there. Why can't I link to that? All right. So, because it hasn't been searched a million times yet, you know? And so it does get buried down deep in there. So, and then same thing with like scientific studies, man. I mean, so this whole thing that I've been going through, I've been doing some like medical research. Medical research is fucking impenetrable if it's good. So it really is. So the methodology is tight. The fucking, you know, like, but you're Googling every third word when you're reading it because it's like, I don't know what any of this shit means.
That
So
it's that specialist terminology.
it is absolutely
Yeah.
that specialist terminology that you learn in your first year of medical school. So, I mean, I can read research methodology and I know how to read stats really easily and say, okay, this is the method you use and got it. All right, and stuff like that. But, you know, you get into those, like the language, it's like, what the, what is that? Is that like in me? So-
Do I need to get rid of this now?
right, yeah.
Is that a people disease or a snake disease?
Yeah,
I don't want a snake disease.
I don't want to snake disease, but then you go to Dr. Google and you ask him the same question, and he gives you like, oh, here, blah, blah, blah. So, and you link it, and it's like, well, actually, the study that I was trying to read said that this one was complete bullshit. So, you know, because the one that you're linking to was published in 1967. Fucking sweet. You know? So, you only use that one because it was easy to read. So, you know, I've run into that quite a bit lately. So, it's frustrating.
No, I would agree. I mean, and especially in the you and I talked about this here too. The other thing is, even if you are incorrect with your story, that is the version that people remember.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
It's the same case with I don't know if you saw this one. This was the quote unquote medical Karen that went viral.
I don't know anything about that.
Oh god! So there's this. Yeah, of course she flipped out. So evidently, in some cities they have these like e-bike things. Where
We have them here.
do we? Oh, in
Yeah,
Denver.
downtown.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, those little scooter things.
Well, they're not scooters. They're actual
Oh,
bikes.
bikes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have those.
But I guess in some places they're on the bottom. Oh, okay. No, but yeah, in some places, some cities, they have these bikes that you rent, right? And you take them to the next station, they charge or whatever, right? And so the version of this they showed was there's this, she's wearing like medical scrubs, right?
That means nothing.
Well, no,
a lot
but,
of people wear those.
but
now,
it turned out that she was like a
Oh.
nurse,
Oh,
and
okay.
she's like 6 or 7 months pregnant.
Is this in America or is this in Britain?
It is in America.
Oh, okay.
And they tried to play it off as this woman is ripping off this e-bike from like 5 black dudes.
Okay.
I shit you not. And so they
Well,
they
what was she
played.
doing?
She was sort of wrestling with the bike,
Oh, okay.
right? But the thing was, okay, they played it off this way, right? And the thing is, so with these things, think about like the cart returns at the airport,
Yeah, sure.
right? If you put it in, it's done.
Yeah.
Right? So they were trying to say that the black guys paid for it, right? And she was stealing it from them, right?
Oh, but
And
this is a return thing, right?
Well, the thing is, it ends up getting clicked back in, right? And then, they're trying to take it back out, pay for it again, right? Well, she's got receipts of paying for it.
Yeah, okay.
But the media tore her up.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And if you
Yeah.
do, you're probably going to see the obscured version. She is
it's
now
possible.
like suing for defamation, and I don't blame her because, that was as soon as actual evidence came out. I'm like, well, no, she paid for it.
Right.
There's her receipt. She paid for it twice.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, the thing is, people. It's like the there are still people that think that Kyle Rittenhouse shot black people.
Yeah, no.
There are still people that think George Zimmerman was a white guy.
No. Yeah.
Right.
No, I understand that just because it's the first take that you get on it. I don't know, man. I've done a pretty good job of scrubbing that kind of media from my feed now. So
Okay,
it's just
do you blame people for still thinking that way because they didn't take the time to dig deep enough, or like just because that's the news that's fed to them so easily that they're gonna believe it and just think that that's what it is?
Say that one more time.
Like, it's so easy to get news presented to you, especially with that first take.
Right.
So if you don't keep following up with it, that's just what you think. So are you mad at those people that didn't take the time to think about it? Or is it mad that that first take was allowed to be put out so much and then replicated so much?
No, my issue here is that if you get caught lying, right? If you present something that is so blatantly untrue, the Nick Sandman, case, for example, right? That is something that if you do not do your due diligence as a journalist, your ass should be grass, right? And I'm not fucking around. I mean, just like, this is something where you're done. Okay, you can get sued. You do the job, right? You have to verify this shit. If you run with it and it is a half-ass story and it turns out that you could have looked into this, that should be your ass.
I think that depends on the network, though. So, you're going to have outlets out there that are not going to commit to that kind of integrity. So,
well,
it's just a free speech issue. You can say whatever the fuck you want. Right?
Well, you can't. Because, like, in the defamation case,
right,
they got destroyed by that.
Yeah.
Because you can't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
So, yeah, especially if it caused her some kind of, like, harm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, then absolutely. And, I mean, I guess that was a rule for a long time, but, like, there's a point in time where you going to go after bloggers, with this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because
Who's going after him?
Well, it'd have to be the person who's affected by it. So,
right.
So
if you write a shit story about me and it turns out that it cost me my job, I can sue you. So,
but then you're going up against the network.
but yeah, see, that's the problem. Is a lot of time you're going up against the network. So
the issue then would be, for me, is if the network is using you as their source, right? Because, I mean, you can sit there and look at the impact, because, like you said, the argument has to be whether you can demonstrate this person was harmed. Now, if they go to your tweet where you said this, right? Because, look, I see this. You can pull the metrics. You can say, all right, well, this thing was viewed 60 times. there's no damage here.
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
The only difference is whether or not you as a major like supplier, right, or as a major broadcaster, if you propagated this and you did not do anything except pull from this tweet,
Yeah.
that should be your ass.
Yeah. No, I agree.
What about like, remember the cop shooting that like LeBron commented on?
Yeah.
Okay, so whose fault would be going there? Because they're just throwing stuff up so fast. Like, so are you saying that the news can't report on this until they have all the facts?
That used to be how it worked.
Yeah, that used to be how it
Yeah.
worked. Yeah.
But there's no way that's gonna go.
You used to have to be able you used to have to verify your shit with 2 sources.
Right.
Right?
But there's no way that can go now.
Well,
Like,
I
people
guess,
are so fast to report.
But then it's your
just
ass.
any-
yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess that's my point too. Is like if you're the network that takes this time and does this due diligence, you're gonna fold shop.
Yeah, you're toast.
Yeah, you're toast. You're gonna get murdered off by anybody with the blog out there
Yeah.
who beats you to the scoop, let alone with Twitter out there now. So
How the fuck does that excuse the behavior though?
well, I'm not saying it excuses the behavior. I'm just saying that that's the reason why that exists.
Oh yeah, no, I
So,
understand
yeah,
that. No, of
so,
course.
Like I don't know. I've always been of the opinion that the network doesn't program the audience programs the network. And so if you've got a captive audience and they're not going to take the time to turn around and double check that shit later on, okay, then obviously we have a symbiotic relationship going on here because you have individuals who not only feed the news but also feed the
They
news.
want it that way.
Yeah, exactly. They want it that way too.
No, totally
So,
understand that.
yeah.
So here's my problem, right? So take what you know about dissecting statistics,
Okay.
right? I know that I can put something in front of you and say, like, is this a bullshit study? Is it half and half? Or is this legit?
Yeah.
Right? How many people out of 10 that I grab out here from the street do you think are well versed enough to be able to tell the difference between a good study and a bad study?
One.
That's-
Maybe
that's
two.
That's a big maybe,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, I don't know, man. So I think like a lot of people do have like this internal bullshit detector that's actually pretty good. So maybe I can't necessarily articulate why this, but there's just something about whatever like study you put in front of you is like, no, man, that doesn't add up.
No.
So I think there's more people that are good at that than others. But if I could actually so you give me a poll and I sit there and I break it down, and then go through the methodology. There's one of us out of 10 out there that can do that.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you're talking about basically putting the interpretive skepticism on the audience, they're not equipped to do that,
Yeah.
right? That's what I'm saying, because you're saying that one out of
I
10...
would tell them not to necessarily equip yourself for that. I would tell you to tone down your fucking hunger for knowing everything right now. So
That's not how the brain works.
yeah, I know,
not how
I know. Which is
Definitely
like,
not
God damn
anymore.
it! Just can you wait a day? Can you just give me a day? Kind of
Dude,
thing,
Our species wouldn't have survived if our brains worked like that.
supposedly, man. But we're not out there stabbing squirrels and eating them anymore, man. So
No, I totally understand, but you cannot turn around and say that the brain does not crave information and rewards from it.
Sure,
Well,
it
and
does,
especially with a phone on you now. Like it's almost
Yeah.
impossible to wait.
I just say I think we get the media that we deserve. So in some respects, so
I understand,
Yeah.
but the question here is, all right, so if we're talking about journalism, we've discussed this many times. We've discussed how this is evolving as an entity.
it totally is.
And it's in its, I don't know, if it turns out good, it's a renaissance. If it turns out badly, it's a
Burn the house.
Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Fall of Rome.
Exactly.
Yeah. We entered the bad times.
Yeah. And this is
The lemmings are just all gonna jump off the cliff.
I want to make the argument that it's actually going through a little bit of a renaissance now because okay, so the guys that I read now, they publish maybe like once a week or maybe twice a week.
yeah.
It's pretty fucking good. All right. There's only been a few times where someone said something over the last 3-4 months when I've been doing this Substack shit. So that someone said, "Hey, I fucked that up. I'm sorry." But at least they said that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's
And
What
so
you're
it's like,
supposed to do.
and it's
Yeah.
like, thank you. You know what that means? I'm gonna keep reading you. Appreciate
Right.
that.
Right.
So and then that's why the daily fire hose has been pinched off. So
And that's sort of the thing. That's where the reconciliation. I don't know how that's going to turn.
But that's a behavior modification on my part.
Because most people are just going through the daily fire.
Oh fuck yeah! So yeah.
And so why wouldn't they believe the stuff that they're being fed?
That's the question.
Right.
And if they're not equipped to know that, like again, like if you look at it, it's like, all right, this study looks, the same. This looks, as far as I can tell, it looks legit. I have no reason to question it. That's the thing, is either you come in there with a skepticism where you're like, all right, well, believe none of what you hear, right? And what is it, half of what you see?
Yeah,
I don't remember.
That's usually a good rule.
But again, that's a taught behavior, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's this thing, like if you go through, we can walk through, and I know you're down on generational theory, and you're absolutely right. But
you can go there.
No, you're absolutely right. No, I'm not going to argue with you on this one. But there are certain trends that you can look back and you can say that, yes, when you and I were in school, right, the general message was trust authority figures, right? You can always go to a policeman. You can always
you can go tell a principal. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Go talk to your school counselor.
Absolutely. Right. It was like it was we were at the point where it was like, well, you can't trust any adult, right? We got into the point where it's like, have a secret knock at home. Have a
yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. So there's a rock out in the yard that's got your key under it. Don't tell anybody which one it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or plastic one.
Anyway, yeah, I know. Well, I know. But it's just the shit that you and I remember on this stuff. But yeah, there's a change in that here when it comes to like general trust of authority, right?
Is it more or less?
Theoretically, it's less.
Yeah. I don't know how much I buy that. Well, I don't know, man. It's changing right now underneath my feet, and I just started realizing that this semester again. So, you teach long enough, man, you start to see some of the patterns over time.
Yeah.
So, in the absolute deference to authority, I've never seen that. So, but I would say that the last couple of years, I definitely see people who are much more willing to appeal to authority figures. So,
well, say like in the medical field?
Sure, in the medical field, or, okay, so I watch a lot of finance shit. So, and there's a lot of people out there like, well, I don't know how to do my fucking taxes and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, it's not that hard, but, I get why you're going to go get an accountant to do that for you, kind of stuff. Same thing, you got a lot of kids, they don't know how to fix a car so anymore. You take it in. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so, or even the same thing with PC repair. It's not like, oh, I'm going to get on YouTube and figure it out. It's like, no, I'm going to call a guy, or I'm going to take it over to the fucking Geek Squad, kind of thing. So there is like a little bit more of an appeal to expertise, shall we say?
Yeah, but that's different than authority.
Okay, yeah, all right, yeah, no, fair. So in theory, it's less.
In theory, but I mean, that's the weird thing, is there are certain parts of it that are a little bit weird, right? Mm-hmm. Where you and I, dude, we've lived long enough where, like, again, we've totally seen it flip where it's like, wait a second. It's like, you guys are trusting the FBI now?
Right.
Like,
yeah, that whole thing
nuts?
Is weird, yeah.
Like, you guys hated the FBI.
Yeah.
Over the 90s.
Red Team and Blue Team are not what they were just 10 years ago, man. Red Team and Blue Team, I can't tell them apart anymore sometimes. So
I wouldn't want to identify with either one of them.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, there's still elements of both that I like.
But that's the thing. I certainly wouldn't toss my hat in and say, well, I am clearly one of these.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't either. So... but I don't know. That's a whole like throw your vote away kind of thing too. So,
dude,
I know. You got the Sox and the Yankees. You got to root for one. So when it goes down to the series, man. So it's just not how the system works. And so, but I don't know, man. I was thinking about your comment a couple weeks ago. I probably would vote for Republicans a lot more if they just put the fucking suits back on.
That's it. Put the suits on.
Put the suits back on. Kick out the riffraff.
Just say, yeah, exactly. It's like...
you scared all the girls away. So, yeah.
Well, okay, there are some girls left, but they're not... They're not the ones you bring home to your mother. It's not
No.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. So, they are definitely not...
You have, like... That's the thing, is like, you need to have... Republican guys in suits, and you need to have girls in your party that aren't lot lizards, man. That don't look.
Wow, there's a term I haven't heard in a long time. So other people listening to this are gonna have to Google that one. Man. Yeah.
Oh man, you have to go out there and say like, we have to be a party of like class. We have to sit there and say,
Yeah,
like,
I don't think they're gonna do it though in the
No.
near future. They might do it if they get their asses kicked in one more election. So, but I don't know. So, yeah, and then like any vote for Joe Biden right now is basically a vote for Kamala Harris. So that's really hard to
terrifying.
reconcile, man.
The
That's
last poll
really
I saw
fucking hard.
showed a fucking 7-point
So not,
differential.
like there's a
between-
lot of people around like the president that I do like, and I think they're doing a good job. But I don't have much faith that she would keep them around. So
They send her on the most stupid of goose chase errands.
it's hilarious, man. So it's so patently obvious what they're doing with her.
It is ridiculous. Like you see, it's like, well, where is she? It's like, well, she's at the young black children's author, conference,
Oh right, yeah.
and she's just over there like doubling over at her own stupid jokes, and that's all they do is they just send her state to state
Yeah.
for like, well, this is a Dairy Queen opening.
I remember Dairy Queen. So yeah.
Right,
I saw a guy the other day, and he was basically like, he said, I've got a great solution to this problem. So Joe Biden needs to kick Kamala Harris off the ticket and then put Barack Obama on there.
That's
Is that
that's horse trading.
It's
that
total
allowed?
horse trading, but actually, yeah, he was making an argument that if you, through a strict interpretation of the 26th Amendment, this is legal.
Totally legal.
So he
Totally
could become
legal.
president
You, could
again?
you cannot be elected
Elected.
again.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh.
And so it's basically like a
Interesting.
bridge to get somebody back into the White House in, what is it, 2030 at that point in time? Or 2028, so with the D behind their name. So it was a cool little conspiracy theory. So it's like, but everybody's going to see you do that. They're going to know exactly what
that
you're
was
doing.
that was the same. No,
Don't you think that would be like a smashing hit? Like they'd be like, well,
I
yeah,
don't
then-
know,
Then
man.
Biden can go and we'd get
Yeah.
Obama.
We
That's
get that
cool.
back. So I don't think it would actually work. man.
no, it
Yeah,
would not.
I don't think it would work.
It's like there is a place where they do that, and that's Russia. That's where
Exactly.
when
Yeah.
you say like, how has
Medvedev,
Putin
yeah.
has this happened? Well, evidently one of Putin and his toadies switch off those two jobs every few years, and that's how they don't
Well,
have.
they
that.
gave up the charade a few years ago.
Yeah.
They just said, no, he's actually just, you can do it as many times as you want.
Yeah,
So
that's how they used to do it. Was they would just trade the job,
yeah.
and then they would make the other job the top job.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So they'd switch between president and prime minister.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And whichever one Putin was is the top job.
Yeah.
Mm.
God, that country's so fucked up.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, the contact I have with Russians, like the ones that came here,
Yeah.
right? When they talk about just this awareness
Yeah.
of what a shit show it was,
It's crazy, man.
like they love the United States.
I know.
They
Yeah.
love it here.
Yeah. So,
Well, I have a person. I didn't get to say this because this is risk related. I have a person that lived in Kamchatka for.
right.
Ooh, cool.
Cool.
Is
Got
it still
invaded
the
from
same
Alaska.
size?
Yeah.
Well, like when you're saying like it's the size of Greenland.
Yeah.
No.
That's the map. They draw the map that way, William. So, yeah.
Our
Greenland's huge.
yeah,
You know?
our 8th and 2nd largest continent.
Right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's bigger than Australia. So,
Well, Kamchatka was like
Oh
yeah.
a sizable
it was
chunk
like
of
it was like
Asia
Super
there.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And she was talking about it, yeah. So I looked at it on an actual map, and I like scrolled down because I was thinking, I'm like, you've been there? I'm like, that's half the mass of your continent. It's very little and cold.
Yeah.
I didn't like it there. My husband made me live there. We got divorced. So
Come to America.
yeah, she told a story there. It was fascinating. Where it was like, all right, so we moved out there. So do you know? Do you guys have you heard of like bookbinding? Where
sure.
okay, so you know the technical term, but a lot of people do that for like comic books. right? Where they don't have like a trade of something.
Oh,
So
okay.
they'll have a bookbinder take the floppies and they'll bind them all into one
Okay.
thing. She said her husband was doing this, right? And he was good at this, and this, you know, fucking like oligarch over there, he was like, oh, this is I love what you're doing. I want to come out here to Kamchatka with me, right? Because I want you to take these like family records and put these in bindings. It's super expensive, right? Well, the whole reason that he brought them out, right, was because this Russian oligarch wanted to get with his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And so as soon as she figured that out and he like totally put the moves on her, she like ditched. And her husband is like, so you don't want the books done? Because I'm charging, right?
Yeah. He said off of his head.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's take ride in helicopter.
But,
You know?
but evidently, and that's what she was saying, is like, and she comes from like the upper crust. She's like, but this is Russia. Like, nobody, like, I can tell you this story and that face you're making, yes. But in Russia, this is not weird.
Yeah, it's normal. Yeah.
So when she says she's from Kamchatka and she says it to Americans and every American goes, oh, I know Kamchatka. And she's like, fucking risk.
You know, no. Well, then I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
Oh, okay.
Right. It just took me a second. I'm like, where? Like that peninsula off of. She's like, yeah. I was like, oh, go on. But I'm looking up the map and I was like, is this the where I think it is? Yeah. It's like, and then it's like this. It's yeah.
Like, we all know our like 12 countries of
Will, come on, man? What is the army on Alberta?
horse. Well, that's cheating. That is cheating. Complete cheating. That's our inside joke on risk. Try and throw that up with any of the other places in the globe, and that becomes an extreme challenge.
Yeah.
So, in case the
Do
audience
these
wants to
people
know,
need to know why Alberta is horse?
we lost the Alberta card, but we were able to find out what it was. So we mimicked a map of Alberta and just wrote horse
Yeah.
on the card.
Right.
So that is why we know.
So
that.
you didn't have the old version of Risk, the one that had the 1s and the 2s and the 3s and the 5s. You had the one with cannons and the horses.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, no,
That's the newer one.
No, we had the ones with the 1s, 2s, 3s, and 5s.
Wait, no, it had 3 symbols. It was either a cannon
No,
or
you're talking
horse.
about on the cart.
Oh, sorry,
On-
my bad.
On the so the new games, right, they have the armies are actually cannons.
Oh,
Ours was
yeah, we
nothing
had the
but
Roman
Roman
numerals.
numerals. Yeah, you had the
Oh,
numerals.
yeah. I was
1,
like-
3,
I was
5s,
like, what
and
kind of cards
10s.
have one?
Yeah.
I had that version, but we lost a whole bunch of pieces of it, so we went out and bought a new one. It came with these little dudes and horses and shit. We're like, what the fuck? So they actually came out really. I painted them later, and so, because I'm a nerd. So,
But yeah,
that's interesting that she's from the upper crust of Russia. I actually saw a really cool article on this, maybe like 2 months ago, maybe like a month ago. Have you ever seen a network map, a node map? So, yeah, you've seen them.
Yeah, he can explain it better. I've seen it, but I don't understand it the way.
So
you
what
do.
it does is it basically draws all the connections, okay,
Yeah.
and then between nodes, all right, and then those individual nodes, the strength of the line is like how influential
How
one is on the other.
traffic is, yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw this one that was actually like influence in Russia, okay, so and it has a giant one in the middle, so which we all know who that is.
Yeah.
But then it has like all these satellite ones out of it. And it's like literally it looks like Jupiter and its fucking moons. Maybe like 30 40
Yeah,
of them or
yeah.
something like that. But there's only like they could only identify like 300 or 400 people in Russia who were truly influential. So out of a nation of what 1.4 million, 114 million or something like that. So it's really small ruling class. They did the same thing for the United
Whoa.
States. It looks like a fucking dust ball.
They're everywhere,
Because
yeah.
they're everywhere, all right, and nobody's huge, in the entire thing. So it literally looks like this giant sneeze, and so yeah. But then like everything else, it looks like the sun exploding. We'll put it that way, all right. Just little bits here and there everywhere. And it's got over 1 million, all right, in there that they can identify as being. So these are your top dollar politicians. Your Fortune 500 CEOs, your Hollywood elites,
influencers.
social influencers, all kinds of different fucking people, and even like like your some of your higher level bureaucrats and stuff like that were in there,
Sure.
and things like
Yeah.
that. But none of them are all that powerful. But in Russia, it's a guy.
Yeah.
It's a fucking guy and his buddies.
Is that pretty much what China looks like too?
You know what? I didn't see one for China, but so the CCP is really different because it's got like 100 million members. Okay, so it's really like, even though like Xi Jinping is extremely powerful within it, he sits on top of this fucking battleship. So in Russia, it's just a guy. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Yeah, versus the party.
Right. Yeah. So the guy who just happens to be the head of the party in Russia is just that guy. Yeah. And his 300 fucking buddies.
Look, man, everybody that has any touch with that region has described him the same way as a gangster.
Yeah.
That's how they describe him.
Yeah.
They use that term.
I heard something. It was country. Russia's not a country with a gang problem. It's a gang with a country problem. So,
Okay, man. Okay, I was dying at this. Okay, so like you guys used to joke about this too with like my Adidas jacket.
Oh yeah.
And I wore that with one of my students, and she fucking blew up laughing, right? and she taught me the word. I can't remember what it's like grogny or whatever. I can't remember.
Yeah.
It's not a happy word. And she's like, "Do you know what you look like right now?" I'm like,
Tony Soprano.
I was like, "No," and she's like, "So evidently there is this class of like." She didn't describe them as actual thugs. She described them as wannabe thugs. She's like, and they're never standing. I'm like, explain. She's like, no, so they do this little squat with their hands on their knees, right?
Oh.
And they wear that coat. And she's like, and they have this hat. And I'm like, explain the hat. And she's like, well, it's not a regular hat. I'm like, is it a driver's cap? She's like, yeah.
Does it have a snap?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have one of those in my closet too. She's like, are you serious? It's like, I do not do that on purpose. I thought it would look good. It doesn't look good on me, but I own it. Right. But she was just like, you look exactly like, well, I can't do that thing. But yeah, evidently these little guys, right? That's like half the gang. And she says like, all they're doing is they're just waiting for their chance to get into something.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are guys that haven't made it yet, but they're all just like, give me one opportunity to rip off, a crate of windows or whatever. And I don't know.
Yeah, it's high on the list.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Cigarette truck's already been taken.
Right,
bro.
I don't know. I don't know why I thought like there was like a big truck of like Renewal by Andersons driving by.
Right, yeah.
And they're gonna jack the shit out of it. But yeah, that's she's like, these are just like thugs in waiting. She's like, that's what you look like.
That's hilarious. That's so fucking funny.
She said like all the guys wear that same stupid Adidas jacket.
Do you keep wearing it after you hear something like that?
I have not. Not in front of her because she makes fun of it.
Right.
She finds it very charming, but she makes fun of it. No, like, it's got a pocket right here. It's awesome. This is where my phone goes when I go running. This is great. And she's like, well, you're actually wearing it for athletic reasons. That's why they made
Yeah,
it.
you're not just waiting around to heat
It's
the
not-
place up.
Yeah, I wish I could remember the word. It's like Gropny or something. It just sounds like a
Wannabe.
There was something I was watching a little while. I was actually talking about corruption in the Russian military and how like there's like 4 different words for, like how corrupt you are or something. It's just like one of those things. It's like in Japan, there's like what, 8 different words for suicide, and
Yeah.
Eskimos had
Yeah.
like 10 different words for snow.
yeah.
So it indicates to a culture what's actually important.
Is that the same thing where certain cultures didn't even have different, like they only have like one shade of red?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no. I don't remember doing that much with linguistics. I do remember taking one class. It was actually kind of interesting. So etymology.
Sounds like a pretty
yeah,
cool class.
it was interesting. So that was a long time ago though.
It's fun, but it's unless you are going to like full on linguistics, basically like Tolkien levels.
Right. Yeah, where you invent your own
There's
languages.
Exactly. Well, I've had enough of these.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm gonna make mine.
I'm gonna make my own.
Yeah. And they're gonna learn it.
It's just cool bar info at that point.
If you're that guy, I mean,
Well, I mean, it's like just taking your one class. You
Oh,
just got
yeah,
these,
it's cool.
You got this cool, just enough knowledge to
Yeah, it's just enough to.
throw it out there at the
Right.
bar.
Right. But if you follow that path, you're either this guy who is the expert, then there's all those Starbucks people.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of those, man.
And this is no insult to people working at Starbucks, but there's been
No, I just want to be linguists. Yeah. So, oh man,
I'm not trying.
I know, man, but there's like
degrees in English, bro.
my degree's in history, for crying out loud, man. I don't do anything with it, so you
What
know
about your doctorate?
that has nothing to do with history, thank God. So otherwise, I wouldn't have a fucking job. So you got to be so competitive. Like if you actually wanted to be an actual historian who had a tenure track job, you'd have to pick some really stupid bullshit to research. It would have
Where
to
you'd
have.
be the only expert.
You'd
in
be
it,
the only
basically.
guy in it. You'd
Yeah.
have to have some kind of like angle that makes you cool.
You
Like-
have several opportunities right now, I'm sure.
In what?
Black history.
No,
No.
no.
Yeah.
Me? Yeah, I wouldn't even get an interview. So they'd be like, "Wait a minute, you just go by your first and last name. You don't have three names." So yeah. So then on top of it, I'd have to be female, and then
Oh.
yeah, then I have to speak something like Creole or something weird like that, and I have to be like a fucking expert on like the slave trade of Sierra Leone or something like that. To even sniff a goddamn job in that shit. So otherwise, I'm teaching at the community college and going to Starbucks pick up extra cents. Yeah. So it's crazy. Yeah.
No, I got it. I mean, it's for you. What you'd have to do is it would all be about attitude, right? So you'd have to have some element of like rock star to you, like the dude. You got to remember,
Yeah,
I do
you
a
gotta
ton
have
of
that.
these shows,
Yeah.
right? And they're looking for people with some kind of dorky charisma that isn't like. You wouldn't look at this guy and say, "Oh,
Aliens. Right. Yeah.
there's him." Yeah, that's him. And all the people I see, either they're like you said, they're either women,
Yeah.
or they are dudes that have kind of like a.
Are they all hot women?
Historians.
There's a couple,
Okay.
but remember, it's what's the scale,
All right.
right? So if you're hot for a historian,
Yeah, this is like Canyon City hot.
right?
Yeah.
So we've talked about this.
We talked
before.
about this before.
In
yeah.
North Dakota 6
North Dakota.
or North Dakota 10. You put their 10 at basically it's a Las Vegas.
I
the
thought
biggest
maybe
too,
to
yeah.
be in a show, you gotta be like the home rebuild people.
Well, again, and the home rebuild people, again, they are like they're
actors.
well, they're not actors. Well, they're also actors, but again, that would be like a Las Vegas 6.
Right.
It's just in comparison, right? You have to be like good looking in a different kind of way,
Yeah.
where it's not so obvious.
There's a lot of those jobs that are going away though, man. So yeah, it's just. Yeah.
There's lots of jobs that are going away.
I think so, man. I mean, there's going to be a lot of new jobs behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So but I think, like, someone was pointing this out, even in like history. There's like nobody teaches like fucking mid 19th century European Empire history.
Right.
So
Right.
because if you try and specialize that, they're like, well, everybody's already written that, so fuck off.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So it's just. You shouldn't teach it anyway.
I mean, I disagree. I'm
I
still
know,
fine with
I
it,
know.
but I mean, I don't. I don't know.
College is fine. So you can learn history in college. You get one class in high school, so we're good.
I'm okay with it as long as they preface it as this is a discipline in motion.
It always has been. So yeah.
Yeah, they didn't teach it that way.
No, they
for a
don't
long
teach you
time,
that way
no.
for a long time.
No.
Yeah.
They look,
Yeah, Cleopatra was black, you know.
again, I have said this before, and the show would not be catching the grief if they would just do what I fucking said and say, no, this is Black Cleopatra. And then you cast everyone as black, and it's fine.
So like Hamilton. Oh, so
Yes.
that would be fucking smart.
That's what you do.
Then it'd be fine. Yeah, you wouldn't catch
Nobody
any
says
shit.
a word.
Yeah.
It's just like
He had
The Wiz.
Caesar as black man. He could be like
Yes.
played by Samuel L. Jackson. That'd be great. Hey, he was bald.
You know, I got it,
Yeah.
but they wouldn't get him. They'd get like not Lawrence Fishburne.
Ooh.
Although he would,
He'd be pretty
but they
good,
wouldn't
yeah.
get
They
him.
wouldn't
They
get
would
him.
get
Kevin Hart.
all right.
Kevin Hart as Caesar.
Well, so I mean, if we did say we wanted celebrities, right?
Yeah. At 2, Kevin Hart. So,
No, so yeah, if you do that again, it's like in the 70s they would do that. It was like The Wiz, where this is an all-black version of The Wizard of Oz.
yeah, sure. Yeah.
Totally fine. Actually, I kind of like that movie. It's dumb as shit, right? But it's supposed to be, right? The same thing they did with a lot of like blaxploitation, like kung fu movies and things like that. I'm like, this works because now you're not stepping on it and say, well, Cleopatra actually was. I'm like, yeah, but all the data says no, like all of it except your fucking mother or grandmother says no. Now everybody's pissed. Now the government of Egypt is suing you because you're playing this off like a documentary. That's why they're mad.
That's hilarious.
Same thing goes with again, I think it's going to get creamed at the box office, okay? Black Little Mermaid, I think it's going to get wrecked.
I think
They
you're right.
should have just called it Black Little Mermaid. It's fine.
Yeah,
And just make everyone black. Make Triton black so it's like, okay, well, now this isn't weird. Make Ursula black. That would be sweet.
It's hard to find black villains. So, yeah.
Go nuts. That's like Leslie Jones isn't doing anything for Ghostbusters. She'd do that.
He used to play Ursula. Yeah.
She'd probably be pretty good at it.
Yeah. Who's playing Ursula instead?
no, Melissa McCarthy.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah. Who's the most Karen of Karen actors we can get? There we go.
what? How do you take that? Do you take like mouthy or
Like Kevin
like
Hart as a woman.
or do you mean when you say Karen? do you
Melissa
mean, like-
McCarthy's not a bad pick for that. So
I thought you were talking about like fucking like doesn't shut up kind of. What
Again, that's,
what actress is most likely to say like I need to speak to your manager?
oh jeez. Nowadays?
Yeah. See, the thing is, I would go with like Gwyneth Paltrow. I think
Oh god, yeah, probably.
like
Gwyneth Paltrow needs to speak to your manager.
but she doesn't ever raise her voice.
no.
Like she has no Karen in her. She would just do it so
She-
calmly
yeah.
and polite. Like
Those are the worst ones though, man. Yeah.
So you're talking about like making a scene?
that's
Need
what
to
I
see your
thought
manager?
Karens were.
Yeah.
I thought Karens were throwing a tirade in the store and
An entitlement tantrum.
Well,
Yeah.
then yeah, you'd be looking at like fucking Lizzo, or you'd be looking at. You're talking about making a scene. It would be like that. It would be like.
I think Melissa McCarthy.
I think she's pretty good.
Like
yeah.
Amy Schumer.
Oh.
God damn.
Except
Yeah.
he's like dropped off the face of the
Yeah,
earth.
she doesn't
hasn't
do
she?
anything anymore.
Well, that's how. Look, remember, like the real status of Karen is going to say, "Do you know who I am?" And it's not the people that you actually would recognize that do that shit, right? The people that do that are like the cake boss or like
People who come
those are the people that throw the shit around.
You know
Yeah.
who the fuck I am?
Because you can't be at the top of your game and be that, because otherwise you'd be at the front of the line, right? They would take you there. It's just like not it. You have to be like sort of in the middle or on your way. You don't have the right amount of juice.
All right, Amy Schumer's.
I think she
Or
would do
Amy
that shit.
Poehler.
She's a bit
so
nicer. Yeah.
Worshipped in
Yeah,
her circle that
she's-
I think people open the velvet rope
Yeah,
for.
and she's
right?
just a little bit
I find it
nicer.
so annoying
Yeah.
that I just, I guess
Yeah.
I don't accept other people's point of
Annoying.
view.
Yeah, but,
Like,
yeah.
no, I can't stand it.
No. Annoying is different than bitchy. So
That's true,
yeah.
that is
So
Yeah, so I think
Yeah.
honestly it's going to be somebody that's been like had a big run, is out of the limelight for a while, would still throw their name around, and I think that would be like a Roseanne Barr. I think that
Brie
would be
Larson.
like a
well, she got so fucking canceled. It doesn't matter.
yeah. Brie Larson, I know, is just
Brie Larson's not a bad one.
she even kind of looks like.
Yeah, she's just got
Yeah.
angry bitch face on her.
So there you go. There's your Ursula, a
Brie
bitchy
Larson.
faced white woman
Yeah.
in an all black movie.
Come on, Disney.
Come on, Spike
Hit us
Lee.
up.
Yeah.
Well, I won't go see any of the live ones, so it was already shot anyway.
Dude, they're getting them all. They
Oh no, I know.
they're doing Moana and like they're redoing Lilo and Stitch, right?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Come on, man! Don't break my.
How do
That's
you do that, man? So without having Dwayne the Rock Johnson again in it.
As Moana, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
well,
Oh,
he is.
Moana.
He is in it.
Oh, he is
Oh,
gonna be.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it, because they actually want.
him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the girl that played her, she's like, oh, I can't do it. She's like, I'm not the right type of nationality for this. I'm taking the job away from someone. I was like, yeah, but you're from that region. You're an island person.
I don't know.
But
But
yeah.
I don't need any of these live.
No, well,
That's
and don't
stupid
come on, man.
stuff.
Don't redo Lilo and Stitch on me, because he's such an animation masterpiece.
Well, I
Don't
didn't
fuck
even
it up
see
with this.
Lion King.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, especially like if you went like if you actually tried to CGI and they looked like cartoon lions.
uh,
Well,
Like-
then it's just might as well be cartoon.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Might as well do it with Muppets. So
You might as well do it with Muppets.
claymation.
And dinosaurs.
with the ground
With the
tails
ground
that all
tails,
whip around like
yeah,
lizards. No, evidently, like if you did it with claymation, it would cost more than.
Oh, I'm
Oh.
sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, like the
With how the animation is now, yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like traditional, like I think that's is traditional animation an economy of scale
What do you mean?
where you really have to produce a lot of it for the cost to go down.
I don't even think you worry about the cost curve on that. You just hope that you make something good enough for you to recoup it. So yeah.
No. Like if you were to actually take a squad of like 100 traditional animators,
Good luck finding 100 of them, but sure.
well, it wouldn't be good, but I mean,
Fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
What, like actual take pictures of each cell? Yeah, no, fuck yeah. That's an
And
art school
paint,
project
yeah.
for some nerd out there who's gonna go work at Starbucks.
Starbucks.
There you go.
Starbucks is loaded.
There you go. All right, so final thoughts.
Go Nuggets. One more win to the finals. That's my final thought. I'm loving it.
No, I'm on board with that. So
Sure. Yeah,
Sure.
you haven't talked sports in a while.
Well, I wasn't
Yeah.
here during most of this
No.
historic run.
when's the next game? Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Okay. So we'll have something to talk about on Wednesday.
Always have something to talk about.
I
That's
won't
true.
be here Wednesday.
Oh, you won't?
I got the kids.
Okay. Well, we'll talk shit about you again.
That works.
We didn't really talk shit about him, did we?
I know.
Yeah, you
We're
throw
saving it up, man.
You guys actually compliment me more usually when I'm not here.
That's because our views go up when you're here. So,
Well, okay. It's easier for me to compliment you when you're not here because you're usually not being so directly antagonistic to me.
Yeah, I'm brutal.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like poking the bear.
Stop being so reasonable.
No, it's just that he, like my mother,
Oh no.
know their way in.
Okay.
I don't think I'm actually poking any bears there.
Yeah, but you kind of are. I love you for it. Don't get me wrong, but you know what you're doing.
I think you actually lay it up there. Because you find these things in these shows and movies that are like
Obvious.
not obvious, but they are bullet points for your world.
Bullet points for my world.
Bullet points for your world. I like that phrase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying I'm living in the Matrix.
You might be, Jeff. You never know.
Like with the Into the Spider-Verse thing,
Yeah.
if you just watched the preview and didn't have somebody telling you those things were there,
I saw it.
you literally saw
saw
it
it.
during the preview.
Yes. In the preview, the fucking flag is there and it says protect trans kids. It's
like
right there.
up in the room.
You just understand that's like a moth and light.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
So
it's-
he's gonna sniff those things.
Like you got to remember, like
How often do you see a preview?
well, when they come out.
Once? So you saw it the first time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, you are just
Well, no,
you are a
no,
homing
don't stop
beacon.
it,
for
man.
these
No,
things.
no, like Highlanders know where each other are, man. It's the
oh, that's a great thing that he did.
yeah.
Yeah.
They detect each other, and when it finds me, it finds me.
Yeah.
Like it's dude. Again, it's certain thing. Like when Patrick goes on communism hunts, right? He doesn't go looking for them, but he finds them. Like he can hear their mating calls out there in the wild, right?
Yeah.
And if he hears a word, like he sees the back door, it's like, well, reparations means this plus this equals communism,
Yeah.
right? And it's the same thing for me, as if I get some sense that you are putting your dumbass message before actually entertaining. Again, make the shot first and make it subtle, right? But if you put it in your trailer, you want me to see it. You have like 2 hours of movie to say like, hey, let me entice you in. No, you put that bullshit out there because you're like, oh, let's get that crowd. Let's throw a bone to these people. Okay, you know what? Show that movie uncut in the Middle East and see what happens. I double dog dare you.
All right, I poked
Sorry.
a
World,
bear.
yeah, you
I'm
poked it
sorry,
there.
I did
Yeah,
it.
so Disneyland gets 9/11. So yeah,
There you go.
So-
I did it. Sorry,
you
guys.
totally did it.
Sorry, audience.
Well, you're cool. No, it's
Yeah,
fine. I know what you're doing.
All right. Well, don't worry, we'll boil it up. We'll put it on a low boil for you.
All right.
All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Will.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm hitting the button.
Kevin Hart is Julius Caesar.
Kevin Hart is Julius.